Back in line, you dog! On your feet! Get them going!
Good. Oh, man, I was just rubbing my face and now it's all red. Good afternoon. Oh, it looks like I have a rash or something. Let me just turn the light on. Oh, does that help? No. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Cross Examinations Live. I'm your host, Mike S. Miller. It's my birthday. It's my birthday stream. 24 today. Just kidding. My son is 24. He is 30 years younger than I. And I am 30 years younger than my dad. It was very balanced out. My eldest, I didn't have a son till I was 30. Did you guys know that? Well, technically I was 29, but same year. Yay, it's Mikey's birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you. Tina, thank you. Corpse Grinder. I'm looking for Dark Admiral to say happy birthday, but he hasn't. So whatever. March hair. Kirby at least makes weird screaming blue head thing. Oh, thank you. Hey, Without Lies was yeah, it is in point of fact the anniversary. And I'm gonna turn this light off. Am I too red? The anniversary of the day of my birth. I don't remember that day. It's a long time ago. 54 yarns ago. Yeah, Mike, happy birthday. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I was trying to catch up on what you guys were debating in the old Discordius. The Discord, where people go to have Discord with one another. Very aptly named application. I'm at work, Mike. I love you, brother. Hope it's a good one. I hope you have an awesome birthday dinner. Actually, we're going to have a birthday. I guess it's dinner. We're going to have some people over. Which, that's fine. Whatever. I don't mind just, having dinner with my family. It's like, oh, it's another. But yeah, 54. 50. This is what 54 looks like. Happy birthday, Oji-san. Domo arigatou gozaimasu, Justin-san. Justina. What is that noise? Why do cameras make weird noises? It's like it's all electronic. It shouldn't be making a noise. There's not actually a shutter in there fluttering. Like I said, past a couple birthdays, I've had Pokemon ice cream cake because I let the kids pick the cake. I don't know. I don't even care. I don't eat cake anymore. Camera is zooming for focusing. All right. Well, in the middle of all the birthday celebration and appreciation, here comes the Sinfluencer 666. With why do Christians follow their evil God who tells his creations not to kill, but then he does it? Tells them not to sin, he does it. You should set yourselves free. Come down here with us and sin. Well, there's a lot wrong with your post there, Sinfluencer. First of all, he tells his creation not to murder. It's the word in the Ten Commandments is thou shalt not murder. It is I agree, it is badly translated into English. And God literally is incapable of murder because God is the author of life and death. Murder is the unjust killing of one man by another, or one human by another. There's no such thing as an unjust killing by the creator of life and death. So, logical fallacy on your part. Tells them not to sin, yet he does it. Again, impossible for God to sin because what he says is truth. What he does is good. There's no, it is an ontological distinction. You cannot be the author of good and commit evil. It doesn't work. It's an impossibility. The rules that he sets for us are rules that apply to humankind. But thank you for playing. Come down here with us and sin. We're going to go ahead and pass on that. Some of us have lived that lifestyle and found it incredibly lacking. Mike, you poor old fart. You just wait until you're turning 61. Ugh, you're still a baby. I'm a baby. That's we would have been in school together. Well, not like high school, but like first to fifth. It feels like a one-room classroom with everybody in it. You're doing pretty good. I'm younger and hardly any dark hair left, but at least it's all there. I know this is all genetics. This is mostly genetics. But carnivore diet really did actually change some of my hair from gray to white. Not all of it. That'd be nice. That'd be cool if like my hair, if my chin whiskers grew back out brown again, or black and brown and whatever mixed colors were in there. I'd probably just keep a goatee. It's just so much of it is white now that it ages me like 10 years. I almost look my age. I know, it's terrible. God can murder all his creation because he made it loophole. No, you don't understand what murder. See, this is a definitional distinction. Murder is the unjust taking of a life by one human taking another life. The creator of life cannot unjustly kill or unjustly end the life of that which he created. It is impossible by definition. Definitionally impossible. But you don't like definitions, so you want to use your own in order to make this faulty argument. It's not murder when God does or commands it. Correct. Correct. Thanks for trying out for varsity. Otherwise, what you're trying to claim is that all killing is murder. It's a category distinction. It's a categorical, and you're categorically false. All killing is not murder. Murder is a particular type of killing that God commands against. What's up, Tanner? Thanks for trying out for varsity. Now go home. Sin very subjective to God's whims. No. The very definition of sin. Please at least try to understand the argument, Corpse Grinder. Try to understand the argument. I know you want to make up your own rules, but when you read the Bible and you believe in the Bible abides its own rules. You're playing in God's sandbox. The very definition of sin is going against God's will. So it's not, I don't know if you'd call it, maybe it is. Is it subject to God's will, not his whims? But anything God's will, that is God's will, is not sin. When you go against God's will, that is the very definition of sin. Okay, play by the rules. You're coming to this game, this philosophical game. You have to play by the rules. You can't make up your own definitions and your own. You can't force your subjective version of what's happening in the Bible. If you want to argue the Bible with people who believe in the Bible, you have to play within that sandbox. You have to find the contradictions within what we believe, not bringing what you believe and trying to say, look at this contradiction that doesn't fit in this box. Why is my camera doing this? It's so annoying. Oh, yeah, it is trying to focus. That's why it's making that noise, huh? Let me see if I can turn on that. Hold on. Let me see if I can get my... Oh, it stopped now, so I'm just going to stop. Did you see my comment in the Discord about coal? I did see it, Tanner. That was a good comment. Do you want me to read your comment? Tell you what, I'm going to read Tanner's comment because he brought it up. I was listening to a song called Coal earlier, and it's about this dude who doesn't feel worth anything. One line in the song is, "If pressure makes diamonds, why am I still coal?" And it got me thinking, a diamond's only shiny because there's light on it, so it's an artificial meaning. But when coal is lit, it burns bright, and doesn't matter if light's shining on the coal, it still burns bright. And I believe Jesus is calling us to be a light to this world, no matter who sees you. Be that light. You never know when your light makes others shine. And not to argue with the thought that came into your head. The thought that comes into my head is, freaking camera's doing it again. A diamond's light is not, how did you phrase it? Artificial. A diamond reflects the light that is given it. So a diamond would reflect God's light, and that's the light that shines from a diamond. A coal burning it's the light that is from coal burning is what is diminishing the coal itself until the coal dies. I don't know what to do with that, but that's what I do get your arguments, and they are bad. They're not, Corpse Grinder. They're logically sound. Is it objectively immoral to kill babies? For humans, yes. For a human, to kill a baby is objectively moral. For the creator of life to put an end on that life cannot be immoral by definition. Justin says, unless God commands Israel to not eat certain things and then later allows them, then it's only a sin because of obedience and disobedience. Later allows them. Well, he doesn't allow them because they still claim the law. But he ended the law. Well, I don't want to say he ended the law. He fulfilled the law. Right? You understand the purpose of the law was to bring about Messiah. The fulfillment of the law was Christ on the cross. Everything about the law pointed to Christ on the cross. He fulfilled it. After the fulfillment of the law no longer holds punishment. I always wrestle with how to describe this, but you guys have heard me say it before. In a place where there is no law, as in no enforcement, whether or not people abide the law is purely a matter of moral intent, right? If you know for a fact there's no cops, no radars, no nothing on a 200-mile stretch of highway, are you driving 55, 65, 75? Actually, it depends on the highway. Man, some of the highways have really high, like, I mean, some people do. Not a lot of people. But, yeah, so where there is law, there must be authority. Is that the right word? I mean, I'm trying to think in the modern context and the ancient context of what a law has to be adjudicated. Maybe is that the right word? Adjudicated. A law must be adjudicated. There must be a justice. There must be the service of that justice. There must be the force doctrine in place. Jesus fulfilled the law, taking all of that stuff away, making the law not of no effect in this. He made it of no effect in the sense that we are all forgiven our sins. He did not make it of no effect that it's not still right. Right? So we follow what law is moral because it is still right and moral. Some of the law was not moral. Some of the law was ritual. And again, the ritual pointed to God, pointed to Christ. But now that Christ has fulfilled that, the ritual is no longer necessary. I mean, maybe it's harder to explain than it is to... now I'm contradicting. I said, if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it. Well, I'm trying to... The simple thing is God fulfilled the law. That's the simple, but I feel like some people require greater exposition. What's the point of the stream? I don't see much reconstruction or cross-examination. Well, it's my birthday, so give me some slack, Mozzie. But no, we do reconstruct. That's why I'm here to answer questions and rebuild the faith that some people try to tear down through their nonsensical false arguments. Diamonds also grow bright when heated. There you go. Right, it's borrowed light. Well, it's reflected light. I don't know if that's the same thing. But yeah, we reflect the light of God if we're doing it right. The glow seen in some diamonds is caused by a phenomena of fluorescence and phosphorescence, which are triggered by trace amounts of certain elements in the diamond's crystal lattice. So, I mean, long story short, it's like a prism, isn't it? It just breaks apart the light. And that's why I like when I look at my diamond on my finger, it's like, oh, I see blue. Oh, there's some red. There's some yellow. It's like it just reflects all the different colors, depending on where it hits me in the eye. This means that not all diamonds glow, and the effect is mostly common observed under ultraviolet light source, like a black light. Oh, that's interesting. First problem folks have is putting themselves on equal footing with the creator of the universe. Yeah. There you go. Doran says, if you're not a believer in here, be careful. They will jump you, but join the Discord. Yo. Corpse Grinder, do you feel jumped? So eating shellfish would have stopped Jesus from coming. No, it was a ritual law. Eating shellfish is so part of the law is to keep the Jews healthy, to keep a healthy line of human individuals for the coming of the Messiah. Right? If you read the ritual laws, it's all about health. Washing your pots and pans, breaking your clay pots so you're not cooking and with bacteria-ridden utensils. Gosh dang it, this. Hold on a second. I got to do this real quick. I got to find it's just the constant clicking coming from my camera is driving me insane. Okay, can click on that. Get the zoom. Zoom's fine. Image adjustment. Where's focus? Turn off autofocus. All right. Hopefully that will stop. Should I turn down the saturation? No. Sunburn. All right. It's not clicking anymore. Yay. Honestly, Doran, how old are you? You're a teenager, aren't you? From the way you talk in the Discord, you're a teenager. I can tell. Justin says disobeying the law is sinful. If the law is removed, then it's not a sin anymore. That is what I said. That's an interesting way to put it, isn't it? That is an interesting way to put it. Blood always finds its levels. Says Corpse Grinder, just a reminder, you're the only one here with a religion being forced onto children before they can even think, contracting all of biology and reality. Are you talking about evolution? I saw 80 once. Oh, really? You saw an 80-mile-an-hour limit? Wow. Baruch Hashem. Hello, hello. We weren't on that road for long. The meaning of sin today. Oh, wait. The meaning of sin is to disobey God. And God wanted all of his creation with him. My create a sinful person with the intent to destroy your creation, but give it a sacrifice. Well, the intent wasn't to create sinful people. Unfortunately, if you give people a choice, they sin. It's just what happens. He didn't create Adam so that Adam would sin. It wasn't like, all right, I'm going to create this guy. I'm going to give him free choice. And he's never, ever, ever going to sin. He'll be perfect. He'll be my perfect little automaton. Yeah. Without choice, there's no love, Doran. I know you don't want to deal with that, but Jesus also stated that not a single detail of the law would pass until the heavens and earth pass. Right. And it hasn't. Not one jot or tittle of the law has passed. Ironically, some of us do 55 for many reasons. You'll actually end up at your long-distance destination faster because of less stops for fuel. Well, gee, I don't want to argue this point, but once upon a time in my youth, I made it from San Jose to Los Angeles in 4 hours. I could have stopped for fuel and taken like an hour break. It all depends on how fast you're going, I think. Happy birthday, Mike. Thank you, Johnny Torch. Appreciate. Oh, happy birthday, Mike. Thank you, Melissa. Happy birthday, says Tanner. How old am I? I am 54, my friend. 54. Fuel efficiency isn't at 55 anymore. Hasn't been for like 40 years. Doran feels jumped. Well, I mean, if he would make better arguments and understand, honestly, it's a critical thinking problem. Doran, and it's I'm not slighting him in any way. It's critical thinking is not taught in public school, which I get the feeling he's probably like a junior or something in high school. It's just not taught in school. So if you want to learn critical thinking, you have to go learn critical thinking. I don't think it's necessarily as obvious as some people make it out to be. Some people have to understand when you're in public school, particularly, you don't learn how to think. You don't learn critical thinking skills. You learn what to think. You learn what you're told. And then by training of just being taught, how do I phrase it? Being trained to just believe what you're told, as public school does, cripples your ability to question what you're told and learn how to think critically about what you're told. It's not as common as just being smart. And unfortunately, half the population is below average IQ. So you get a bunch of people out there who are being essentially trained to be employees. That's why there are very few entrepreneurs, people who break out of the system, think for themselves, do their own thing. So don't feel bad that you don't know how to think critically, Doran, but go learn how before you come back and try to make those ridiculous arguments you do in the Discord. Because no, man, no. Your last name's Miller. Do you know anyone from Chicago? I know people from Chicago, but Miller is one of the most common last names in the English language. So I'm. Where are you from that you don't? It's like saying, "Hey, do you know Smith?" Love your name, Lies Islam Dies. Love your name. I'm probably the same age as you. I disrespect those who disrespect me. I not Christian. Yeah, you're extraordinarily vulgar in the Discord, and you need to stop. We have rules in there, and if you don't stop, I'm going to kick you. Just we don't do that there. So, atheism isn't a religion; it's the answer to one question, and then religion. Atheism sure feels like a zealous religion. I don't know anyone who proselytizes as much as atheists do. The atheists put Christians to shame for how much atheists proselytize their faith. Everybody wants to blame God for their own shortcomings. Tanner says it's been fulfilled, not abolished or passed. Right. Correct. You hardly look 40. Oh, thank you, Tanner. I take it you are young as well, because it's easier to judge. It's easier to judge age when you're past the age that you're. Happy birthday. Thank you, Ryder. Doran, I'm pretty sure you've been antagonistic since you showed up here. Quick question. Why should we respect you when you clearly only show up to troll? I'm also pretty sure that most of us have been relatively respectful to you. Anyway, bruh. Bro, I'm in the Discord. Don't just show up on the show. Yes, you show up on the Discord and you're extremely disrespectful and you're extremely vulgar and you need to stop. If you're not a teenager, at least try to act like you're not a teenager. He's definitely a younger person. Yeah, I think so too. I like Church 2, pre-programming. Well, for most people, they go to public school and they go to church, and so it's like contradictory programming. Happy birthday. I can't stay because I'm also my buddy's birthday. It's also my buddy's birthday. We're going to grab some food. Oh, right on, DJ. Hey, DJ, do you know, because you're in San Diego or roughly thereabouts, do you know that we have a Creation Institute museum here in Santee? Is it Santee? Is it Santee or El Cajon? I can't remember. It's ICR, Institute for Creation Research. It's here in San Diego. One of my friends at church works there, and so he's like, "Hey, give it a shout out on your show if anybody lives in San Diego." Yeah, Institute for Creation Research. If you're here in San Diego, go check it out. It's a really cool place. It's a museum for creation studies. Doran, Mike, I went to private school, Christian school, and from pre-K to 8th grade. And to check the Discord, you tell me. I think I made my argument pretty well. I know you think you make your arguments well, Doran, but you really, really don't. So pre-K to 8th grade. So you're saying you're now in 9th grade? Why is it you're afraid? I tell you my age. I'm 54. Why are you afraid to tell us your age? I questioned what I was taught sitting in church. I'm not a computer. I choose to believe them because I'm convinced. Right. I know a Smith and a Miller. A Smith. One Smith. My religion is also the answer to one question. That's true. On that note, I'm out of here. All right, later, DJ. Doran says, I'm close to 40. Wow. Why do you act so juvenile? Guessing still single? I've been wrong about the teenage thing, so. Tanner, most 50-year-olds I'm around are balding and or have grayish hair. Or also big and fat, right? Lots of those on YouTube. Big fat 50-year-olds. Where did I not? I'm not going to go through everything on Discord right now, bro. If you have an argument you think you successfully made and you want to post it here so that I can refute it, feel free. What does age have to do with the arguments? I've met plenty of smart young people in my life. It's not the argument, it's the reactions, the vulgar, insulting, just very juvenile reactions, which the reason it's called juvenile is because it's you're acting like a child. So that's why I think the age, it's not the argument. I know probably 100 Smiths and like 10 Millers. Right. I remember 40. Jeff, do you? Your memory's still that good? I disrespect when disrespected. That's it. Okay. Well, we have rules. All right. If you want to disrespect someone, do it without the vulgarity. Jeff Potts says, Mike thinks I'm old and fat. He's not wrong, but I'm still outraged. I'm young and fat, but that's not any better. Carnivore diet. I'm just going to, right? Unless you got bit by that genetically modified tick that makes you allergic to meat. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? They've been spreading that tick around the country now. They're trying to get everybody to stop eating meat by spreading a tick that's it was only once upon a time, I think, like in North Carolina or something, and now it's in Texas. How does a tick get from North Carolina to Texas? Millions of Smiths get married every year. It's true. Strafe. For real, Mike, the meat tick? Oh, no, I know. It's terrifying. And I wonder if there's some way to flush that out of your body. Animal and people. Your guys insult me. Are you reading the kind of stuff you're saying? Do you not understand the difference between... I mean, if you want to tell somebody they're being foolish or their arguments suck or whatever, however you think you're being insulted, that's one thing. Going to oral sex arguments and stuff, dude, bro, huge difference. It's a Christian server, meaning that I have Christian teenagers in there. It's not, no, not safe for work. Where I ain't make my argument. If I showed even Hebrew could not be formed without Canaanites. Oh, that wasn't your argument. That wasn't your argument. That's where I got the argument too. That Abraham lived in Canaan for 100 years, by the way, and learned Canaanite. That developed into the Hebrew language, which the Hebrews subsequently carried on through Egypt and then back into the land of Canaan. That wasn't your argument, Doran. Your argument was that the Hebrews themselves were Canaanites, which you have zero evidence for. So thinking that you made that argument is foolish. Every bit of evidence that you tried to bring up confirms the biblical account of how Abraham went from Ur to Canaan, and then the descendants made their way back up to Canaan. The Hebrews were not Canaanites, and that was your argument. The Hebrew language being formed from Canaanite language, there's no problem with that. But that was not your argument. Yeah, it was only North Carolina. It's been one of my biggest fears forever. I'm glad I got bit by a tick in North Carolina when I was a kid, so I am glad that did not affect me. Brought to you by the folks who turn the frogs gay. Tanner says, I cut out all sodas and lost 30 pounds in like 3 months. Now I don't know what I am now, but the problem is getting active now and eating the right thing. Sodas is the worst. Yeah, soda is not only full of high fructose corn syrup, which it just goes straight into your fat, just gets converted straight into fat. But if you drink soda while you're eating, the carbonation cancels out the acid in your stomach and does not allow you to break down your food and digest it properly. So you're getting a double whammy in that you're not getting the nutrients out of your food that you need because you're drinking carbonation, which cancels out the necessary acids that your stomach uses to break down those foods into digestible sludge. And then you're replacing all that nutrient with sugars that convert directly into fat. So yeah, soda's big important thing to cut out. I mean, if you want a soda once in a while for a treat, whatever, but having, like, I know people who drink stinking 8 cans of soda a day. I'm like, you should just take up smoking. It's much healthier for you. Smoking is healthier for you than drinking soda. I heard about that, Dick. Rocky Mountain spotted fever or Lyme disease that it carries. Yeah. My argument was Israelites took from Canaanites even their gods. Right. Well, again, that argument, and no, it wasn't. Your argument, you must have a bad memory, dude, because your argument was that the Israelites were Canaanites. Have you relented of that argument? And again, your argument about the Canaanites or the Israelites taking the Canaanite gods, in one sense that is true, but in the sense that you're trying to claim that Yahweh was taken from the Canaanites is completely false. Yahweh was the one God they were true to, or they were supposed to be true to. When they came back to the land of Canaan, yes, they fell away. This is in the Bible, that the northern kingdom in particular chased after other gods. Where were they? They were in the land of Canaan. What were the other gods they were chasing after? The gods of the land of Canaan. So in that sense, that is correct. But the origin source of the Hebrew people and Yahweh as the one true God, they did not take that from Canaanites. And you saying that, well, the Canaanite high god was named El. El is the word, the generic word for God in every Proto-Semitic language in the entire region. Pre-Canaanite, whatever, Hebrew, all these Semitic languages in that entire region used El or Il as God. Just generic word God. Like me say God. God is not God's name. Yahweh is God's name. In Canaan, they just made God God's, or they just made El God's name, but it's not. Tanner says, matter of fact, I hardly eat sugar. Oh, good. How did I not show my point? Because you were... which is true. You want me to prove that the Israelites were once Canaanites. You tried. But again, everything you tried to say was... you know what? You didn't bring up a lot of facts. You brought up a lot of like assumptions, presumptions. Any fact you brought up just tied right into the biblical account. The Israelites were not Canaanites, unless by Canaanites you just mean that Abraham lived in Canaan and got a citizenship card or something before his family moved down to Egypt and then Goshen and all that stuff. It is terrifying. Sounds like something that has been genetically made and done to us intentionally. They want us to stop eating meat and want us eating bugs. Meat tick sounds sus to me. I know, right? Where's your proof that Israelites took the gods of Canaan? Yeah, this is a dating issue, because later on in the Northern Kingdom, in Samaria, they did. They took the gods of. It's in the Bible. I'm not gonna argue. If it's a point of history in the Bible, I'm not going to argue it didn't happen. What he's trying to do is move the timeline back somehow and say that, what, Abraham took the gods of the Canaanites? I don't think so. And you have absolute zero evidence of that. Oh my gosh. Possums eat ticks? Oh, breed more possums. China wet market tip. Thanks, Jeff. All right. Carbonation is acidic. Carbonation cancels your stomach acid. It cancels it. Have you ever had like a stomach ache because you have too much stomach acid in your gut, and then you drink a soda and it goes away? That's how that happens. Corpse Grinder says it can increase stomach acidity and cause digestive issues like bloating and reflux by introducing carbonic acid and other acids like citric acid and phosphoric acid. But the carbonation cancels out the acid in your stomach. How does that happen? It's people use it as medicine. Bicarbonate of soda. I hate the thought. When I was in my 20s, I used to wake up and have Mountain Dew. I can't believe I used to do that every day. No sodas now, though. None. Good. There was I saw a documentary on the Appalachians, and holy cow, they will put Mountain Dew. Maybe that's why it's called Mountain Dew. They'll put Mountain Dew in baby bottles and give it to their kids. Oh my gosh. Appalachia. Summary. The Israelites were essentially Canaanites. See, you're making the argument again that has zero evidence. Your argument is made up whole cloth. Who became a distinct people. Evidence comes from archaeology. No, it doesn't. Language, Hebrew from Canaanite. The language, fully explainable. Again, you can take this one off the table. Abraham lived in Canaan for 100 years. He's going to learn the language. Great. There's no pottery or settlements that prove that Abraham. See, I think you're just messing with the timeline here. Abraham lived in Canaan and then left. Wait, did he leave? Or was it his descendants who left? Let's look that up real quick. Isaac and Jacob, etc., leave the land of Canaan. Abraham, originally from Ur, called to move to Canaan, dwelt in Canaan, made temporary trips such as to Egypt during a famine, never permanently left Canaan after settling there. Isaac, Abraham's son, was born in Canaan and remained there most of his life. Genesis does not record him leaving Canaan, except for brief mentions of moving within the region. Jacob, so Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, also called Israel, and his sons, ancestors of the 12 tribes, left Canaan for Egypt during the famine. Okay, so although I was wrong about even just Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, before they went to Egypt, the Israelites lived in Canaan, that didn't make them Canaanites. That made them a particular family. And when they wanted wives, they didn't breed with the Canaanites. This is all in the narrative. When they wanted wives, well, except for like Esau. That's why Esau became the Edomites, and they're not pure Abrahamic, because, well, they're Abrahamic, but they're not. They kind of interbred with the local population. But those who were loyal to Yahweh and didn't want to interbreed, they sent home for family members of Abraham, cousins, sisters. It was so they sent home to maintain their bloodline so that they wouldn't interbreed with the Canaanites. Yes, Esau did his thing, created the Edomites. That's a mixed bag. But that's not what happened to the Hebrews. That family unit moved to Egypt, right? And then multiplied into the millions, left Egypt, came back to Canaanite as a freaking nation. Otherwise, how did they wipe out the other Canaanites, Doran? It wasn't just a little offshoot of Canaanites killing other Canaanites. Drake says, I drink 1 soda a week, and occasionally I have something when out, usually diet. Yeah. I was here that day. Mike already debunked all this. I know. He just doesn't get it. That's why I'm saying that he needs to go learn some critical thinking. Just please, honestly, Dorn, go. I posted a lecture series on critical thinking. Just go watch it. You'll benefit from it as a thinker and as a human being. God is a title, not a name. Exactly. Dorn, you just admitted to me, they were Canaanites. How is it? I don't understand how he... If you got your language, culture, even name of my God, including Yahweh, it's not Yahweh. Yahweh did not originate from Canaan. You know that the Canaan God was El, which just means the generic name for God. Yahweh was not in the Canaanite pantheon, Doran. And they didn't get their culture from the Canaanites. The only thing they got from living in Canaan for 3 generations was the language. They wouldn't even interbreed. I don't understand why you're having such a... You're just so stuck on this. Like, you demand that Abraham didn't come from Ur. Where did Abraham come from, Doran? It's really a really stupid argument. Like, why, if it was the case that Abraham was just a Canaanite, that really wouldn't be an issue, right? If God just said instead, Abraham of Canaan, you will be the father of many. It's like so nonsensical that they would change the story and say, oh, no, he's from Ur of the Chaldees. He had to actually travel to Canaan. Israelites are still Amorites, not Canaanites. Is Amorites the right? Is it? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Abraham didn't just appear out of nowhere. He did have ancestors. Type in your grok, was the Israelites originally Canaanites, and show your screen. Were Israelites originally Canaanites? Oh my gosh, it's so small. I can't read it. My monitors are two different resolutions. So it's like I'm reading something normal here, and then I move it over there, and it like everything like shrinks down. Na, 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 na. Oh no, that's my other question. When were Israelites originally Canaanites? The question of whether Israelites were original Canaanites is complex and involves both biblical narratives and modern archaeological historical perspectives. Here's a concise breakdown. According to the Bible, the Israelites, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, had origins outside Canaan. Abraham is described as coming from Ur in Mesopotamia before settling in Canaan. His descendants, including Isaac and Jacob, are portrayed as distinct family group, though they intermingled with local Canaanite populations through marriage, e.g., Jacob's wives and the wives of his sons. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Oh, is that true? Hold on a second. Where did Jacob's wives come from? Oh, that's true. Jacob had Leah and Rachel were primary wives, daughters of Laban, who's Jacob's uncle. All right, so that's what I was talking about. They were from Haran, Pada Aram, a region in northern Mesopotamia, modern day southeast Turkey, or northern Syria. Jacob traveled to Haran to escape his brother Esau. All right, other wives. Bilhah and Zilpah were Jacob's secondary wives, described as concubines. They were originally servants or handmaids. Their specific geographic origins are not detailed, but they likely came from the same region as Laban's household in Haran. Or nearby areas. They were part of his household. Bilhah was given to Rachel, Zilpah to Leah, and they were bore children on behalf of their respective mistresses. This doesn't say they were from Canaan. Canaanite connection. While Jacob's wives were from Haran, the broader region of Canaan, where Jacob lived before and after Haran, included similar Semitic people. The cultural and linguistic similarities between Haran and Canaan suggest that their ethnic background was closely related to Canaanite or Amorite groups. All right, well, that's inconclusive, but I'm going to lean to they were not Canaanite. I'm going to say they're more Amorite. This up here doesn't give you the specifics. Separate people chosen by God. Canaanite origins hypothesis. Many scholars argue that the Israelites emerged from within Canaanite society, likely as a subgroup of Canaanites who developed a distinct cultural or religious identity. Archaeological evidence, such as the continuity of material culture, pottery, architecture from late Bronze Age to the Iron Age, in the highlands of Canaan, suggests that early Israelites were indigenous to the region. Sites like those in central hill country, Shiloh, Shechem, show no abrupt cultural break that would indicate a foreign invasion or migration. Well, it's not an invade. Well, hold on. Which are they talking about? Are they talking about the origins, or are they talking about the later invasion? Other view posits that Israelites were mixed local Canaanites and external groups, possibly including pastoral nomads or refugees like Hapiru, mentioned in ancient texts, though not equivalent to Hebrews, directly equivalent. The Mernef Stele, earliest known reference to Israel, places them in Canaan, suggesting that they were already recognized group there, likely emerging from. Okay, there you go. Likely emerging. But we have the actual account. So this is all later scholars trying to dismiss the actual account for some reason. Why? I have no idea. I do have an idea. It's ultimately to discredit the Bible. So they're saying stuff like, "Oh, they likely emerged." Exodus and conquest model. Some scholars align with the biblical account, suggesting the small group descendants of Jacob left Canaan, sojourned in Egypt, and later returned during the Exodus to conquer Canaan. However, there's little archaeological evidence for a large-scale conquest as described in Joshua, leading many to view this as a theological narrative rather than historical fact. Well, again, there's so much archaeological evidence that confirms the Bible things that have not been confirmed yet, you got to take it with a you have to give the Bible the benefit of the doubt at this point. Otherwise, it's cognitive dissonance is what it is, because the Bible has been corroborated so many times, like literally, what is it, twice a day? There's like, oh no, it's every what was it? I forgot the numbers, but there's 12 to 15 key, like, new archaeological discoveries every single year that prove biblical accounts. And then, but they discover like repeats. It's like buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? Eventually you're just going to get the same one. Oh, look, another coin from the Kingdom of David, right? So now you have thousands of those, but each of those counts as a confirmation. So we have literally probably hundreds of thousands of confirmations that the biblical narrative, okay, let me not say the narrative, because the narrative includes miraculous stuff, and miraculous stuff you generally can't prove through historical archaeological evidence. Although some you can. Sodom and Gomorrah. They've discovered Sodom and Gomorrah, or at least one of them. And they discovered that a heat blast wiped out the city. Some sort of a heat blast that flashed at about 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit wiped out the city. This is archaeological evidence they found, because glazing of pottery hadn't been invented yet. Hadn't been invented for thousands of years, I guess. And it wasn't invented in the Middle East. It was invented in Asia. But they found pottery that was glazed on one side, which is what happens. Basically, what the scientists said, it would be the equivalent of having a nuclear bomb go off. That's the only other place they see stuff like this is like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but like one side, because you don't put a pot in an oven and just glaze one side. The whole thing gets glazed because it's in an oven. But when you have a flash of heat of like 4,000 degrees, it can glaze one side of pottery. And they found it. Lo and behold, they found Sodom and Gomorrah, and they found evidence that it was wiped out in the way the Bible describes. So, but mostly it's just like places and names. That's what archaeology finds, right? Places and names. The miracle of Sodom and Gomorrah being destroyed, usually you don't get that kind of evidence. Doran, that proves you're desperately hiding from the truth. The jokes have been debunked years ago. You're like a flat earther claiming the world demonstrated means straightening demons. I heard you're not supposed to drink milk while eating fruit. Oh, dang it. We got a minute and a half left. That's my point. I can't move it back. Canaanites existed thousands of years. No one is arguing that Canaanites didn't exist and that Canaanites weren't in the land. The whole reason it was called the land of Canaan is because Canaanites were there, Doran. Don't you get it? They came to the land of Canaan, where Canaanites already existed. Nobody's arguing that didn't happen. Bicarbonate of soda is a base, not an acid. Okay. Well, whatever the effect is, drinking a soda does the same thing as bicarbonate of soda does. It cancels out the acid in your stomach, and it makes your stomach stop. This is a practical application of soda. Does no one ever do that? You have too much acid in your stomach and you drink a soda and it goes away. I'm not crazy. This happens. I use this at home. Doran, you are aware that Amorites and Canaanites are not the same. I don't think he's aware. I don't think there's, yeah. Opossums are awesome. Their body temp is so low that they do not carry rabies. They're the only U.S. marsupial. They're the only text, and they don't want things you don't want in your garden. Not aggressive at all. Yeah, ugly giant rats though. Bicarbonate of soda is an ingredient. While a soda drink is a beverage that can use bicarbonate of soda as an ingredient, but it's not the same thing. Okay. Carbonated water is an acid. It may have the adverse effects you stated, but it's an acid. Interesting. Carbonated water is a carbolic acid. The thing that settles the stomach are the ingredients in certain sodas, specifically ginger. No, you can do this with Coke, a Coke. Have none of you ever just used regular soda? Yeah, it's better to use ginger ale, but it does. This is a practical reality. Next time you have a stomach ache or you've got acid reflux or something, drink some soda. Yo, Mike, we have to set up a channel and really talk this out. I won't curse if you don't. Ha ha ha. Well, you know I don't. All right, we are over an hour. Thank you. Bicarbonate of soda is alkaline. Yes. Or if you haven't. Okay, enough with the soda thing. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. All right. Geez, hey, we had people coming in late. Loopy, do not follow church nonsense, but messenger Jesus. I mean, you can do both. Depends on the church. And welcome to the channel, Loopy. Hey, Tina's here. All right. Thanks, everybody. The Romans were Canaanites. David's wife proves it. God bless us all. Oh, look, Paul Richards is here. Hello, Paul. Lots of people. Why does everyone come in the last freaking... It drives me nuts. Does YouTube only start recommending a live stream if you're going for over an hour? Is that what happens? Weird. Ask your AI if they found Sodom and Gomorrah. Did you not see this? You know what? I'll post it in the Discord. Maybe I'll bring it up tomorrow. I'll find the news article and bring it up. Jews were Canaanites, worshipped all their gods, and they moved into the Levant. Took them 700 years to get a Yahweh. That would be false, Paul. Sorry. Sorry. The show's over. It is my birthday. I got stuff to do. So God bless you all. Potential spam. Hang it up. God bless you. Jump in the Discord if you want to continue your conversation. This is the most ignorant thing anyone here has said today. Jesus never existed. Yes. What year is it, Paul? What year is it? And how did we get the year? I know it's a silly flippant argument, but I'm over time. Don't have time to get into it, but it is really a stupid argument. Thank you. God bless. Peace.